Very good afternoon, everybody. I'm Santosh and also have one of my colleagues who will be part of this webinar, Mr. Adarsh. I'm honored to be here, Associate Level 2, associated with DataFix. And once again, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to today's webinar, where we will be exploring into an exciting topic, something known as virtual reality for training workspace. So before jumping into the topics one by one, so let's see what is agendas for the webinar today. So what are the different topics we'll be touching in this webinar? So firstly, we'll be talking about or understand the transformative impact of VR on workspace, workforce training. Second thing, what are the tangible gains, improved learning and engaged employees. The next one, navigating the realities, gaining insights into the practical considerations and challenges of implementing VR-based simulations. The most important topic, we'll be going through some of our case studies. One which will be talking about the process based, the another one, the individual level. How can VR impact on individual level? Next, we'll be focusing on future aspects, the navigating the next wave of workforce training with VR innovations and emerging trends. And also, we'll be showcasing our demos where we have developed, VR-based simulations in this webinar. So yes, let's understand the transformative impact of VR on workforce training. So impact of VR on workforce training involves recognizing how VR technology fundamentally alters the traditional methods of training and development. VR creates immersive simulated environments that allow individuals to engage in realistic scenarios, replicating the challenges they might face in their actual work and roles. Next, there are some key aspects that we are going to discuss. So how can a VR transform in those key aspects? The first one, we shall be looking into something known as experimental learning. So what exactly is experimental learning? VR provides a hands-on experimental learning approach. The learners are not just passively receiving information, but actively participating in the simulated activities. So this enhances their understanding and retention of concepts. So to understand this exact point, we'll just take a simple example where a virtual reality anatomy simulation can be created where medical students put on their VR headsets and find themselves in a virtual operating room. So in this simulated environment, students can interact, with the 3D models of the human body. They can virtually dissect the organs, explore the anatomical structures, and even practice surgical procedures in a risk-free and controlled setting. So this immersive nature of VR allows students to get a sense of scale, right? Even a depth and also a spatial relationships in a way that traditional methods cannot provide. The next thing is personalized learning paths. So VR platforms can be tailored to individual learning needs. Learners can progress in their own pace, focusing on areas where they need more practice, thereby making the training more effective and efficient. So let's consider a scenario in which a company is using a VR for employee training. So particularly in a complex technical field such as aerospace engineering. So in a traditional training setting, what happens? Employees might go through one size fits all the training program covering a broad range of topics. So with the help of a VR, personalized learning paths can be implemented to cater to individual needs and skill levels. Employees can start with a baseline assessment, perhaps in the form of VR simulation that evaluates their current knowledge and skills. So based on these assessment results, the VR platform can dynamically generate a personalized learning path for each employee. For example, if an employee demonstrates a strong understanding of a certain engineering principles but struggles with a specific tasks related to aeronautical design, here comes the VR platform where he can adjust the training modules according to him. So the employee might then receive targeted VR simulations and exercises that focuses on that particular areas where he can improve. This tailored approach allows learners to progress at their own pace, spending more time on what challenging concepts while moving quickly through the familiar ones. The next one is increased engagement. So what does this mean? The immersive nature of VR captures learner attention and maintain their engagement throughout the training process. Just considering or compared to the traditional one. So this engagement is crucial, right, for effective learning and skill retention. So what happens? Let's take an example and talk about this. So what happens in a traditional automotive repair training program? Students may learn about engine components and diagnostics and repair techniques through textbooks and demonstrations. However, with the introduction of VR, the learning experience can be significantly enhanced. Like the students could use VR headsets to enter a virtual auto repair shop. In this immersive environment, what they can do is they can interact with the virtual cars, engines, and tools. For example, imagine might virtually disassemble to understand the internal components and their functions. It could be so awesome, right? Like yes. They could then engage in simulated diagnostic scenarios, identifying and troubleshooting issues within the virtual engine. So this immersive nature of VR captures the students' attention compared to the traditional, you know, whatever the processes are, allowing them to feel as though they are physically present in the real world automotive repair setting. This hands-on experience, even in a virtual space, enhance engagement by making the learning process more interactive and dynamic. So the next point talks about cost savings, and the very important one. So while initial investments in VR technology can be significant, the long-term benefits include cost savings in terms of reduced need for physical training facilities, travel expenses, and resources required for traditional training methods. So let's take an example of a scenario where a large multinational corporation is investing in a VR for employee training to demonstrate cost saving. So what happens in a traditional, the company conducts regular training sessions for its employees at various regional offices. These sessions involve renting physical training facilities, arranging the travel accommodations for all employees to be present there, or to create a centralized training location where it is comfortable or reachable to the all employees, and providing printed training materials. These expenses can add up significantly over time. So how can we reduce this? Exactly by the introduction of VR-based training. The company can create a virtual training environments that simulate real-world scenarios. So here employees can access these virtual training modules from their own workstations or remotely using VR headsets. This eliminates the need for physical training facilities, reducing rental costs and associated logistical challenges. Next big thing is scalability. So VR training can be easily scaled to accommodate a large number of learners simultaneously. VR environments can be replicated, allowing organizations to train geographically dispersed teams without need for everyone to be in the same physical location. So let's explore an example how VR training can easily scale for geographically dispersed teams. So consider a global software development company that needs to train its teams on a new coding framework. So here what they can do, so what happens in a traditional training setup, organizing or organize workshops, we call like employees for training sessions, can be logically challenging and expensive. So with the introduction of VR simulation training, the company can create a virtual coding environment that replicates the coding challenges and scenarios where the developer might encounter working on the project. Each team member, regardless of their physical location, can access the VR training sessions using their VR headsets and participate in the coding exercises. So the virtual environment can be easily duplicated and customized to match the specific needs of different teams or different locations or individuals. This scalability allows the company to train a large number of developers simultaneously, overcoming the limitations of physical space, you can say, or you can say the logistical constraints. To just summarize these, points, we can say understanding the transformative impact of VR on workforce training involves recognizing how it revolutionizes the learning experience by leveraging immersive technology to create a realistic, engaging, and effective training environments. So this particular shift, what we just saw, has the potential to significantly enhance skill development, improve performance, and positively impact overall organization productivity. Next, so tangible gains. So if we bring VR simulations in all these industries, so what are the tangible gains, or you can say, what are the advantages in improved learning or engagement employees? So let's see one by one. So the first point talks about enhanced learning outcomes. So in that we can see immersive experience and hands-on practice. So talk about immersive experience. So VR provides a realistic and immersive learning environment, allowing employees to engage with content in a way that closely simulates real-world scenarios. Let's break down this point with a better example. So let's consider a customer service training in a virtual call center. So how does this work? So what will be the impact of VR? You know, just bringing a VR in the customer service training virtual call center. So in a traditional customer service, what happens? The training program, employees might go through role-playing exercises or listen to recorded calls. However, with virtual reality, that is VR, employees can immerse themselves in a virtual call center environment. Just imagine employees wearing a VR headsets find themselves at a virtual desk with a computer or a phone, simulated customers calling with the various issues and questions. The employees interact with these virtual customers, handling inquiries, problem solving, and providing assistance, just as they would in a real call center. So this obviously increases their efficiency and also tells them how to maintain those calmness in a different situation, difficult situations. The next point is increased employee engagement. So as we can see, it has something known as interactive learning, gamification elements, learning. So let's take an example of a workspace safety training. So what happens in a traditional workspace safety training session, employees must attend a lecture and review written materials on safety protocols. However, the introduction of VR training experience becomes interactive and engaging. How? Just imagine employees put on a VR headsets and find themselves in a virtual representation of their workspace. So this VR simulation includes common scenarios where safety hazards might occur, such as you can just say a slippery floor or a malfunctioning machine. So they can recognize these tangible benefits, underscores the value of VR in fostering a more effective, engaging, and impactful workforce training experience. So ultimately, it will contribute to the improved, the employee skills and organization success. The next thing talks about cost efficiency and time savings. So reduced training cost, or you can say efficient training. So for example, let's take an example of a sales product training. So what happens in a traditional sales training program, new employees often go through in-person sessions, or you can say workshops, requiring physical training facilities, printed materials, and sometimes travel experiences. So with the help of VR, we can actually reduce, or you know we can make this training more efficient way, which becomes we can also say that which becomes more cost effective and efficient, when compared to that traditional things. Then remote accessibility. This is a very important point. So as we can see back then in 2020, there was a pandemic impact because of COVID. So all the employees, you can talk, you can say they wouldn't were able to come to the office to work together. So what happens in these situations? We can just bring in something called as VR simulations. For example, let's take a global team collaboration training. Consider a multinational company with the teams located in the different parts of the world. The company wants to enhance team collaboration skills among its employees. So traditional organizing in-person training for dispersed teams would be logistically challenging because everyone has to come to one particular place, and also it is like costly compared to the VR simulation. So however, by the introduction or by introducing or by implementing the VR simulations, the company can achieve global reach in training. Measurable performance metrics. So what exactly this means? This talks about the data analytics. So the VR platform often include analytics tools that track employee performance and engagement metrics. So these data insights enable organizations to access or assess the effectiveness of make the data driven. What exactly this means? So again, let's take an example of employee training effectiveness. So imagine a company introducing virtual reality for a general employee training. So the VR platform includes analytics tools to track how employees engage with the training content and their overall performance. So in this broad example, the company uses VR analytics, right, to assess how engaged one employee or workers are, to evaluate their performance in virtual scenarios, track learning progress, and gather feedback for continuous improvement. So this data-driven approach allows every organization to optimize training content and delivery methods, ensuring that employees receive effective and engaging training experiences. So yes, as I said, there is one of my colleague, I introduced that introduction. So the next part will be hand over to Adarsh.
Uh, yeah, thank you, Santosh. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Adarsh, and I am excited to lead the next part of our session. So, as we move forward, we'll delve deeper into how VR is reshaping the landscape of workforce training, uncovering its profound impact on learning and development. Yeah, so this is gaining insights into practical consideration and challenges. Implementing VR-based simulations in a practical setting involves several considerations and may pose challenges. Gaining insights into these aspects is crucial for a successful integration. Here, practical considerations and challenges associated with the implementation of VR-based simulations. So, first one is technological infrastructure, which includes hardware requirements and network bandwidth. So hardware requirements are like VR simulations require a specialized hardware such as VR headsets and controller, ensuring that employees have access to compatible and high quality devices is a key consideration over here. Next is network bandwidth. VR content may require significant bandwidth for streaming and downloading. So, organizations need to ensure that their network infrastructure can support the demands of VR simulations, especially in large scale deployments. Next one is content development and maintenance. Here it comes customizations and content updates. So, customization means developing customized VR content that is tailored to a specific organizational needs. That can be like time consuming, may require specialized expertise. Organizations should consider whether to develop a content in house or collaborate with external vendors. Content updates is like keeping VR simulation up to date with evolving technologies and industry standards requires a strategy for ongoing content maintenance. Regular updates may be necessary to reflect the changes in procedures, regulations, or best practices. Third one would be tra- user training and familiarization, that is, user onboarding and technical support. User onboarding is like introducing employees to a VR technology and providing adequate training on how to navigate and interact with virtual environment is a crucial. So comprehensive onboarding process can help migrate as resistance and ensure users are comfortable with the technology. And also we need technical support, like establishing a support system for a technical use issues and questions related to a VR usage is essential, right? So this includes troubleshooting common problems and providing assistance to user who may encounter challenges during their VR experiences. Fourth one is integrating with existing systems, that is compatibility. So integrating VR simulations with existing learning management systems or organizational platforms require compatibility. This ensures seamless integration is vital for tracking progress, managing user data, and aligning training programs with broader organizational goals. And fifth and more important thing is data security and privacy. That is, like, we have sensitive informations and that need to be protected. So if VR involve sensitive information or confidential information, we should ensure the security and privacy of the user data becomes a paramount. So implementing robust data and encryptions and access controls is necessary to protect sensitive information. And the last one is cost considerations. Like, we should have some initial investment and cost that supports training and supports the other aspects. So initial investment are the cost that is occurring, like VR hard drive, software, and content development can be significant. Organizations need to carefully assess the return on investments and weigh benefits against the upfront expenses. Training and support costs are like budgeting of for ongoing training, technical support, and potential upgrades is a crucial for maintaining the effective VR training programs. And also there would be another thing like user comfort and health, that is like motion sickness. So some users may experience motion sickness or discomfort during prolonged VR use. It is important to consider the design of VR experiences to minimize the motion sickness and ensure user comfort. It also includes like ergonomics. Ensure that VR head, VR headset is ergonomic and user friendly and is essential to prevent physical strain or discomfort during the extended use. By addressing all these practical considerations and challenges, organizations can navigate the complexities of implementing VR-based simulations more effectively, leading to a smoother and more successful integration in their training. So next, what are future focus? That is navigating to the next wave of workforce training with the VR innovations and emerging technologies. So in that, first one is technological advancements, that is immersive experience and AI integration. Immersive experience anticipate how advancement in VR technology will lead to more immersive and realistic training experience. This could include improved graphics, enhanced haptic feedback, and increased sensor engagement. And AI integration explores the integration of artificial intelligence with VR to create intelligence adaptive simulations that are tailored training experience based on individual learning styles and performance. Second one is industry specific applications, that is vertical integration. Investigate how VR innovations are being tailored to a specific industries, such as it might be for healthcare, manufacturing, or an aviation. This includes specialized simulations that address industry specific challenges and scenarios. And the third one is collaborative training environments, that is social VR. So, examining the emerging trends in a social VR where employees can engage in collaborative training sessions in a virtual environment. This could involve like team building exercises, virtual meetings, or shared problem solving scenarios. And the next one is remote and global training, that is global accessibility. So, explore how VR is breaking down geographical barriers in a workforce training. Consider the potential of the employees worldwide to access the high quality training programs through VR, fostering a more globally connected and skilled workforce. The other thing is metrics and analytics, that is data driven insights. Highlight the growing importance of data analytics in VR. This includes tracking and analyzing user performance metrics, levels, and the overall effectiveness of VR based training programs. The next is cost effective solution. That is, it should be affordable and should have scalability. Like discussing emerging trends that make VR more accessible and cost effective for organization. This could involve advancement in hardware affordability, cloud based solutions, or scalable VR training for platforms. Effective learning is personalized training. In personalized training, we should explore how a VR is evolving for a personalized learning path. This involves like adaptive algorithms that are training content based on individual progress and ensure a more efficient and effective learning experience. Next is integration with extended reality, that is XR ecosystem. So we should also investigate the integration of VR that are extended reality technologies such as augmented reality and mixed reality. Consider how these energies create comprehensive training ecosystems that blend physical and virtual elements. Next one is ethical consideration, that is ethical use of VR. We should address emerging ethical consideration in the use of VR for workforce training. This might include related to privacy, data security, and ensuring that VR experiences are designed responsibly. The next is continuous learning culture, lifelong learning. So we should discuss how a VR is contributing to the development of continuous learning culture within the organization. Explore the trends that encourage employees to engage in ongoing training and upskill throughout their careers. So by focusing all these areas, organization can stay ahead of a curve, embracing VR innovations and emerging trends to shape the future of workforce training in a dynamic and technological advancements landscape. So next is why VR based simulations are essentials. So you can see here there are some stats that has been mentioned. So according for improved retention rates, it has been mentioned that 75%. Like studies show that VR based training can lead to a higher retention rates with the learners up to 75% for the information compared to the traditional methods. And also there is increased engagement, like VR simulation in a industrial training have been found to boost learner engagement by 4 times more than a conventional training methods, enhancing overall learning experience. Also there are cost saving. Companies utilizing VR based training report cost saving up to 40% compared to traditional methods. It's saving 40% of the cost, primarily due to reducing travel expense and ability to reuse the virtual environment. Obviously it is like virtual environment can be reused, and also there is no expense to travel from one place to another place to have a physical interaction with the equipments. Also enhanced skill acquisition. So research indicates that employee trained through VR simulations, they are 30% faster for skill acquisition compared to those trained through traditional methods. So this is contributing more efficient workforce. Then also there is safety improvement, like VR based training enables realistic simulations of hazardous scenarios, like leading to 45% reduction in workplace accidents. These are according to the industries. And also the time efficiency, like employees are able to work 20 to 30% faster compared to the traditional ways. These are all the stats. So next is application, like where all virtual reality can be applied. First one is electrical safety. So utilizing VR in a electrical safety training offers immersive learning experience. Like for an instance, trainers can be virtually practice identify and handling electrical hazards in a simulated control panel. This hands-on approach enhances understanding and ensures effective response to the real-world scenarios. And the second one is height safety. VR simulations can enable trainees to virtually experience tasks such as working on elevated platforms or scaffoldings. For an instance, they can practice safety harness, understanding anchor points, and navigating potentials fall hazards in a simulated environment. This also are this also we can use via virtual reality. And third one is fire safety. Fire safety allows individual for practicing and identifying the fire hazards using fire extinguishers and executing evacuations in realistic virtual scenarios, which enhances their preparedness for real emergencies. And the fourth one is lockout tagout. Like training, this tagout training through VR enables individual to practice implementation of safety procedures in virtual scenarios for lockout and tagout procedures. This helps to improve understanding and proficiency in adhering LOTO protocols before engaging in live procedures. And the fifth one is confined space simulations. Training this enables individuals to practice navigating and performing tasks in a virtual confined space. This immersive experience enhance their understanding and proficiency in adhering safety protocols. And the sixth one is hot work safety. This is hot work includes such as welding, cutting, and other activities, which are where a person gets connected with flames or heat. So even there we can use VR simulations. And the next is maintenance safety. Maintenance safety includes like maintenance of pipes, or if you consider in chemical industries, there's he has to be involved with working with the acids and all. So there also he can be trained beforehand, and it would be helpful for them. Then the last one would be truck preparation or driving simulations, where a person can beforehand learn driving through a VR simulation process, and he can also do a truck preparation in the sense maintenance, inspection, and safe driving. This also we can do via virtual scenarios.
So yes, as we saw some of those application in a different scenarios, and there was one application which spoke about Lotto. So now let's discuss some of the case studies. We do have some of the real case studies that we have developed. So which takes up some of one of the applications, something called as Lotto. So before getting into the case study, let's understand what exactly Lotto is. So Lotto, that is lockout and tagout, is a safety procedure designed to protect workers from unexpected startup of machinery, or you can say equipment during maintenance or repair work. This process involves isolating the energy sources of the equipment, securing it with locks and tags, so that it clearly mentions or it clearly communicates with overall workers in that space that this area is meant for repairing or not to be touched. So this is one of our case study. So this talks about like before engaging in the live lockout and tagout procedure, individuals must be immersed in a simulated experience to ensure effective participation and understanding of the safety protocols. So yes, so immersive learning VR. So we in DESA has introduced virtual reality designed for industry workers, allow them to simulate interaction interactions with work processes. Our main goal was to offer a safe space for workers to practice and enhance their service skills. So next, talking about our aims and objectives. So they were mainly focused on the Lotus simulation training, aimed to improve empathy towards safety protocols and understanding of their importance in addressing the needs of the workplace. So objectives included coaching employees to consistently implement effective lockout and tagout procedure. So how was the virtual environment here? The trainers or the workers could immerse themselves in simulated lockout tagout scenarios, allowing them to experience and respond to situations with a heightened sense of awareness, right? So this facilitated a deeper understanding of a potential challenges and improved proficiency in implementing safety procedures effectively. So next, insights from lockout and tagout, LOTO training. So what were the insights? So we got to know, like we understood, we had an effective understanding of a procedure where recognized as essential for successfully navigating and managing challenging situations during LOTO procedure. So what were the results? So results were like following 3 to 4 practice sessions. So the trainees were demonstrated notable enhancements, including heightened composure in challenging situations and substantial improvements in accurately completing the procedures without any misunderstandings. So this, added to the efficiency with a considerable time frame. So these results not only bolstered their confidence, but also contributed to the satisfaction of the department heads or the managers who are heading it. So next, we'll be just seeing one of our developments, what we developed a virtual simulation for the lot of procedures. So we'll be seeing that video, a small video of that. This is the interface of that simulation. Fire where we a lot, you know, you have all those instructions, step by step procedures. So the person can actually experience in real time. This is how the Lotto process takes step by step, locking out each machines with its own tag.
So yeah, adding to that, also we had developed a simulation for lathe machine. Everyone knows, right? Like lathe machine is used for machining, turning, and type of process. Which is this can be mainly used for the educational purpose in the colleges and all. Before student is let to work directly physically with the lathe machine, like he can undergo a simulation process where he gets a hands-on experience, and then let him go, because we can, by that we can avoid so many accidents. So this is prior to operating a lathe machines in a live settings, individuals should undergo a immersive stimulation to ensure effective participation and comprehensive understanding of the machining process and safety protocols. Okay. So what was the learning from with this? We are like this training offers a immersive learning experience by simulating a real world lathe operation in a virtual environment. User wears a headset and interacts with a virtual lathe machine, allowing them to practically various operations like turning, drilling, and threading in a safe and controlled setting. Also, what are the aims and objectives? So, primary aim would be VR-based lathe training is to provide users a practical experience and skills in operating a lathe machine without a risk of accidents or damage to a equipment. Also, objective is includes familiarizing users with the lathe parts and tools, as well as teaching them lathe operation and procedure. How was the virtual environment experience? In a VR environment, user can explore the virtual lathe machine, identify its parts, learn about the safety gear and tools in detail. Interactive features allows users to interact with objects, receive visual and audio cues, and practice lathe operation with immediate feedback. Insights from lathe machine turning. VR-based lathe training helps user to gain confidence and competence in operating lathe machines by providing realistic simulations and repeatable scenarios. Users can practice without risk, receive immediate feedback, track their process through their performance evaluation and analytics. So what are the results? Results are the VR-based training improves safety by allowing users to learn practice in a controlled environment, reducing risk of accidents and injuries. It offers flexibility, cost effectiveness, and personalized learning experience, leading to enhanced skills and knowledge retention among the operators. So let us look into the demo video of this simulation. Okay, see, this is the main menu where he sees whatever I want to do. This is the lathe machine with its part. So these are some parts and its description is written over there. So now he goes to the lathe machine and he selects what he want to do. He want to do turning. And there he sees the video like how the turning can be done. He comes to the machine. He takes the turning tool. He puts into the machine and it starts virtually working on it. Like there is a material where he does the turning for it. Later he turn off the machine. Like you can use various kind of tool for that. This is facing what he's doing now. So in this way we can use various kind of applications for VR simulations. Okay, so are there any questions for which we would like to ask?
So yes, coming to the summary part. So we saw like where all VR simulations can be helpful in different, perspective or a different type of industries. As others spoke about some of the statistics where you can see those high growing percentages, compared to the traditional methods or by bringing in or by introducing the VR simulations. So yes, uh, thank you for embarking on this thrilling exploration of implementing virtual reality for workforce training. So if you have any questions or require further clarifications on any aspects covered in this webinar, please feel free to connect with us through various platforms. You can name it something like LinkedIn, our website, or our email address. So once again, I and Adarsh, we want to extend our sincere appreciation to all the attendees for actively participating in this enlightening session. Your engagement and interest in the discussion about leveraging virtual reality for workforce training are truly valued. So once again, thank you for being a vital part of this insightful conversation on the transformative potential of virtual reality in the training or workspace. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.